Hello everyone. Today I'm going to discuss why Sabo vs Aokiji is the perfect end of series One Piece fight. Now to start off, let's discuss Sabo. Sabo was introduced to us in One Piece in the Dressrosa arc. He was the long lost brother of Luffy, and when Luffy, Ace, and Sabo were kids, Luffy and Ace thought Sabo had died, but Sabo had survived, but he had lost his memories, and Sabo would join the Revolutionary Army. Now fast forward to Marineford, Ace gets killed, and Sabo regains his memories after seeing the event. So now, Sabo sets out to find Luffy and eventually meets up with him in Dressrosa. In Dressrosa, Sabo was able to obtain the Fire Devil fruit that Ace had, and he's able to beat a Blackbeard pirate's commander, Bridges, for the Devil fruit. So that's just a quick backstory on Sabo. Now, Sabo is essentially the right-hand man of Dragon, who's the leader of the Revolutionary Army, and he's a character in One Piece that is powerful and has lots of potential. And with his flame fruit, it provides a great contrast to someone like Aokiji. Now, Aokiji was trained by Garp as his disciple. Garp went from, not really wanting to train Aokiji to bonding with him and even treating him almost like his son. And Aokiji was able to grow very, very strong through training with Garp. So, I want to discuss why narratively it would make sense for Sabo and Aokiji to fight. Now, we know that Aokiji is currently with the Blackbeard Pirates. He joined them after he lost to Kainu after Marineford, and Blackbeard will eventually clash with Luffy for the One Piece. Either it's going to be during the final war, or perhaps it's going to be a separate arc after the war with Emu and the world government, where Blackbeard and Luffy finally reach the One Piece. Now, I think this fight could begin in a variety of ways, but one way this fight could start is that perhaps Blackbeard orders Aokiji to do something like to kill Luffy, or to kill Zoro or another important member of Luffy's crew. And now Aokiji will reluctantly agree to do this, but just as Aokiji is about to do this, Sabo will come in and save whoever Aokiji was about to kill, and that's how the fight between Aokiji and Sabo can begin. Now, I think this would be a great fight to show off just how strong Sabo, the EOS Sabo at least, has become, and it could show that, Sabo has gone from face commander level to perhaps even Yonko level, an admiral level during this fight with Aokiji. Now, Aokiji would probably have the upper hand at first, and it would be similar to Luffy versus Kaido, where Kaido completely dominated Luffy during the first half of the fight, but as the fight went on, Luffy kept getting stronger due to Haki blooms. So you would have some close moments in the fight where Aokiji is about to defeat Sabo, but Sabo just keeps jumping in power through Haki blooms, and eventually Sabo is able to either exhaust Aokiji or just able to outright beat him, because Sabo would have Haki bloomed and his power would have grown strong enough to beat Aokiji. Now, I think Sabo has more potential than Aokiji. He's younger than Aokiji, and Sabo would be fighting to save Luffy, essentially, and he doesn't want to lose another brother. So he would be very determined to win the fight. But Aokiji would also be very determined to win against Sabo because Aokiji lost to a Kainu, someone who had an elemental fruit based off of, fire, lava, and although Sabo's devil fruit is only based off of fire, not lava, Aokiji would probably get flashbacks to Akainu if he had a fight with Sabo, and he would not want to lose to someone who has a heat-based devil fruit again. So it would be a very intense, a very close, extreme difficulty fight for either side to win. However, I feel like the best outcome of the fight would be for Sabo to barely win the fight, but for him to just, win to show how strong Sabo has gotten, and it would basically cement Sabo's status as a Yonko level character after he beats Aokiji. And again, I'm not saying Sabo should beat Aokiji easily. This should be an extreme difficulty fight for either side to win. But that's just my take on the situation. What are your guys' takes? What would you like to see happen? What fights do you want to see at the end of One Piece? Which characters do you think should, go against each other or maybe join up and team up with each other? And how do you see the fights lining up near the end of One Piece? That will be all for today, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope everyone has a blessed day.